I'll tell you, there are times where I have felt like just throwing in the towel. I was emotionally drained, physically drained, and yes, spiritually drained. I was done. And I had to get away and clear my mind and think about what I wanted to do. And that was just yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. But there have been many times where I have felt like that over my 35-year run in business. So I want to speak to you, that person who either feels worn out right now and done, or just went through what I could call the moping period. Eagles, American bald eagle, have moping periods. I've talked about that before on this show. But you feel like you've hit your limit. You feel like you're done. Like, flip me over. I'm done. I've got one message for you today. You can push past your limit because your limit is all in your head. And I've titled this, Push Past Your Limit. I remember reading about the Navy SEALs 40% rule. Here's what they said. When the average person feels like they've hit their limit, they've only hit or used about 40% of their capacity. That hit me hard because I have felt maxed out before, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, but I didn't quit. And looking back, those were the turning points because I still had 60% left in my tank. My mind was saying, you're done, you're fried. Throw in the towel. Tap out. Whatever you want to call it. Just remember, you're not out of gas. You've got 60% left. Flip that reserve tank and let's go. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be talking about pushing past your limit, or what you think your limit is. And here's why pushing past your limit can change your life. Number one, winners keep pushing when most people stop. How do they do that? Well, since most people stop, and they stop hard, winners start where others stop. They just don't allow themselves to get that far on empty. They know they've got that reserve tank. They know about it. They know they've been down this road before. See, experience helps a lot, because your first run on this, thinking you've run out of gas, is not fun. Because I'll tell you, I've had, in my younger days, I had a lot of cars that burnt a lot of gas. Heavy Chevys and muscle cars, and I would run out of gas, literally run out of gas. I carried a gas tank with me, gas can rather, and I'd walk up and get a gallon of gas, come back, fire it up to get to the gas station. But most time, because I was getting on it, burning too much gas, realizing I was on empty. But anyway, winners start where others stop. And the result is they outperform, they outlast, and they outgrow their competition. See, businesses come and go. The new statistic is 97% now. 97% of small businesses fail within the first 10 years. 97. That means 3%. That means 3 out of 100 last. That means 3 out of 100 outperform, outlast, and outgrow their competition. You know, God never asks you to be strong enough. Never. He asks you to trust him enough. Because he is our strength. He is our power. Strength comes from him. And if we just trust in him enough, then we will outperform the rest, and we will last. Okay. Number 2. Pressure builds power. Diamonds aren't made in the comfort. They're not made in comfort. They're not made easily. They're made under pressure. When you feel crushed, you're just being refined. You're just being remade. You're just being motivated to do more. The result is stronger faith, deeper grit, and a story worth telling. You see, everybody likes a good story. I hope you like some of mine. Number 3, you don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's hard. If everything's been easy for you, then you haven't experienced any experience to grow. You haven't been down that road of hardness. You haven't been down that road of toughness. If it does hit you, you're not going to know what to do. So you don't grow when it's easy. And the result is consistency, control, and confidence that lasts. Number 4, the reward is usually buried deeper. You see, you don't find treasure lying on the surface. You have to dig for it. It takes digging, a lot of digging sometimes. And the result is greater success, deeper satisfaction, and blessings that others never find. But it's worth the dig. It's worth pushing past your limit for. Number 5, you set the example when you don't quit. Your kids are watching. Your team's watching. Your customers are watching. Your vendors are watching. And they don't need to see perfect. They're not after perfect. But they are after consistency, and they need to see perseverance. They need to see that you don't quit when things get tough. They need to see that you're digging deep. You're pushing past the limits of what you even think the limits are. Remember, they're in your mind anyway. You can always do a little more. When I get on the elliptical machine, I always say, you can do anything for 45 minutes, right? Yes, sir. Because it's in my mind. I've got to push past that limit. Because my mind would say, 30's fine. So if you think you're done, you're not done. Just know that. If you think you're done, you're not done. That's when you push harder and you dig deeper and you go and you'll get a second wind. Here's the thing. You get a second wind and it actually becomes fun again. And you'll go, I'm so glad I didn't quit. Nobody's ever complained about not quitting, but they've always had regrets that they quit. I mean, the Navy SEALs is a great example of ringing that bell. The drill instructors play head games. I just need one person to ring the bell, and we'll stop this exercise. So they go so hard that the guys know who's going to quit, so they're pushing them to ring the bell. That's how bad they want to end these exercises. Just ring the bell. We know you're going to ring the bell eventually anyway. Just ring that bell so we can quit, and they do. And you know they have regrets the rest of their life. All right. So when I started McAfee Heating with $274 in a used truck, which most of you get tired of hearing, and I know my staff does, But I have plans for that, $274. I really do. I'll share it with you one day. I had to push past what I thought was my limit more times than I can count. I've mentioned there were days that I just wanted to throw in the towel, tap out. When the phones were dead, and actually they didn't ring for 2 weeks in my second year of business, when competitors were attacking me. I was just a 1 or 2 man shop, and they were attacking me. They would tell customers, he's only a 1 or 2 man shop. He works out of a garage. Who's going to back up your warranty? So I started getting attacked from day one, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You're not making progress unless you get attacked, okay? If you're not getting attacked, you're not making enough progress. My building completely collapsed during construction. I had all 4 walls up, completely collapsed. Could have easily thrown in the towel. It was defeating. I had 4 employees in a service department, and they walked out all the same day. And when you only have 25, 30 people, that's almost 20% of your crew. It was a letdown. It wasn't fair. And then I was hated in 2020. I was hated and attacked by something I said on my own Facebook page. It was insensitive during a very sensitive time. Black Lives Matter, COVID, 2020. I was attacked. I was hated. My team was attacked. My family was attacked. I was threatened. My life was threatened. My house was going to be burnt down. My building was going to be burnt down. It was terrible. Now, none of that happened. They were all talk, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know what I didn't know. Part of me said, we've had a house in Florida for 10 years. Part of me said, get what you can out of the business and move to Florida. Part of me, just for a split second, I thought that. But I didn't quit. What did I do? I got up earlier. I prayed harder. And I pushed past my limit, which was only 40% anyway, if you think about it. And that's how we became number 1 in our market. Number 1 in our market, and have stayed number 1 in our market for years. One of my sayings is, winners don't whine at the wall. They climb over it. They go through it or they go around it. But they don't whine and cry at the wall. It won't get you anywhere anyway. God often calls us past our limit. Why? Because when we dig past our strength, we can tap into His strength. And that's what's gotten me through 35 years. That's the only thing that's gotten me through 35 years is God's strength, relying on Him and not me. Because every time I rely on me, it doesn't go well. So, Isaiah 40:31 says this, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength, and they will soar on wings like eagles. Powerful. All right. I want you to know this. Faith isn't comfort. It's courage. Someone posted something the other day on one of my podcast messages and said I was so weak relying on religion. No, I'm not. I'm extremely strong relying on religion. And I actually said something that I don't know how they reacted, but I said, I don't care for religious people either. Religious people put Jesus on the cross. And I left it at that. But faith isn't comfort, it's courage. And when we rely on Him, we get stronger. So, how do you push past that 40% in our mind? If our mind is at only 40%, and it's saying quit. How do we push past that? So real quickly, we get up 30 minutes earlier. If you're even thinking, I just can't get up 30 minutes earlier, oh, I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. So hopefully you're not saying that. Hopefully you're not thinking that. Get up 30 minutes earlier. Use it to pray, think, move. You'll gain clarity and you'll gain confidence. And number 2, say no to distractions. You see, pushing past limits requires focus. Turn off what doesn't matter. Get rid of what doesn't matter. I thought about had just a 2-hour flight, 2.5-hour flight to Florida. I don't get on any Wi-Fi on the plane, so I don't have any use of this. So I'm listening to books on audio, and I write page after page after page, and I thought, how much more could I get done without this thing? Because it keeps me sometimes from accomplishing more than I know I can. So turn off what gets in your way. And it's a distraction. Number 3, feed your mind. Read, listen, learn. Fuel your soul. You need your soul fueled for the fight, to fight against quitting. 97% quit. 97% ring that bell. Number 4, do the next hard thing. I love this one. Do the next hard thing. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is temporary. It's fickle. It's short term. Move, act. It leads you to clarity. It clears your mind. It's much more better to be driven than motivated. Drive yourself. You steer. Number 5, ask God for more strength. If you don't know him, ask him to come into your life. It's that simple. It's so simple that a lot of people don't do it. It's as simple as, dear God, I want to know you more. Please come into my life. I want to worship you and know you as my Savior. It's that simple. He will hear that prayer. He will come into your life. He will change your world for the better. He never runs out, and he never will. He hears that prayer. And then pray to him often. You couldn't stay in a marriage, you couldn't stay in a friendship if you didn't talk to the other person at all. And know this, I might have said it earlier, but you don't find gold on the surface. You get out your shovel. So here's a couple challenges. Here's a couple challenges I'm going to leave you with. Where or what do you need to push past today? Where or what do you need to push past today? Number 2, what have you been telling yourself it's over when it's not over? Why have you been doing that? It's not over yet. Dig deep. Turn that reserve tank on. It's in you. Find it. Your comfort kills dreams. And today, don't quit. Don't coast. Push past it. Dig deeper than you ever have, but do not quit. Do not let yourself quit. You're not a quitter. You're a winner. You started this thing. You took this position for a reason. Do not quit. You'll be shocked at what God can do after you think you're done. That's the most powerful statement I can make today. You'll be shocked at what God can do after you think you're done. Powerful. All right, before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also like this podcast and support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. Tune in next week. I'll do my best to keep challenging you, help you think differently. Okay, thanks for listening. And as always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life because we're not promised tomorrow. I'll see you next week.